Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Grakowski, creator of the Better Brain Blueprint. Welcome to our website. I think I'm a lot like you in that we would do just about anything for our family, especially when it comes to their health. The challenge is, on a daily basis, we're hearing more and more in the news about problems with brain health, everything from medicating kids with attention deficit, 10% of the population. It's now the #1 psychotropic drug prescribed. Back in 1980, where 1 in every 10,000 children were diagnosed with autism, in 2013, 1 in every 59 boys has some sort of problem along the autism spectrum. We have an epidemic problem taking place. There are more diagnoses with brain and neurological problems than just about ever. And the challenge is there is no medication that's ever going to correct it, but there are answers and remedies that we can do to change the course. In 2002, this problem with brain health became very personal. It was my wife's birthday, so I had hired a helicopter pilot to take us up and fly over the foothills below Tahoe to take pictures of the fall colors. My wife's a photographer, so she was on the outside, I was in the center, and then the pilot was to my left. So we landed on our property up toward Tahoe, and we were taking some aerial pictures. So as we started to come up and come back around, the tail rotor of the helicopter hit on the tops of the trees. What this did was this caused the helicopter to go into a downward thrust, and all of a sudden we were going at a very rapid pace down into this canyon. We hit with such horrific force that it annihilated the entire helicopter. Pieces of the tail were actually found 200 yards down in the canyon. Here we were tangled in this twisted mess. I came to first, and within a matter of a few minutes my wife came to, and we got out of this helicopter and felt extremely blessed to live through this horrific accident. The challenge was, within the next 24 hours, my wife started to have an even more of a horrific headache. So over the next several days, several neurologists, MRIs, CAT scans, and the problem kept getting worse. She started to lose the ability to speak and use the right side of her face. Her right arm started to go dead on her, and then the right leg would just go out on her. And these would come and go. So over the next 60 days, they just kept throwing more and more medications at her and basically saying there's nothing we can do. So as a doctor for 30 years, and now it's my wife, I went on a search. I literally looked at all the information that was out there about brain health, traumatic brain injuries, about ways to set up an environment for your brain to become healthy. Then what we started to do was incorporate these different forms of treatments, repatterning of the nervous system, different foods that needed to be done, very specific movements, different parts of cranial work, everything out there to try and incorporate the healing process of my wife. I would do anything to find answers. Here's the good news. Within about a 9 to 10 month period of time, my wife had made almost a complete recovery, where medically they said that the problem would just probably continue to get worse. Here's what happened next. Over the next several years, I started to have a larger influx of neurological patients, head trauma, Parkinson's patients, a lot of attention deficit kids that we started to take care of without medications, to Alzheimer prevention classes for our community. Because I saw such a need for brain health, and it was so confusing. There's so much information out there, it's hard to sort through what is really pertinent to set up an environment for your brain to heal. So 4 years go by, and we're at an inner circle meeting with Mark Victor Hansen, and he's having us do a drill where we had to share a impactful story on our life. So a lot of emotional stress came up because we had tried to cocoon off this helicopter crash, how that affected our Janine's health, our relationship, and all the stress of that. And in the process of sharing it, it felt like there was a release. Later on, Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen came up to us and said, you're doing this stuff with your patients and their overall brain health. This is an epidemic problem. You have to share this story. You have to get this course of care out there for the general population. So that's what we did. We started to incorporate the best practices to allow the brain to start to heal properly. I started asking my patients, if you want to do something to take care of your overall health, what do you do? And I was blown away. About 80% of the patients says, well, I don't know, what can you do for overall brain health? They thought it was just on autopilot. And that's the problem. We have our brain on autopilot, so we are not using our higher consciousness to allow our body to heal. If you think about it, if you're going to build something, you've got to start out with a plan. So we started to look at what is a blueprint for our brain. How does the brain work? How does it communicate? How does it take in oxygen? How can we increase the healing processes in the body? How can we move the body in certain ways to re-energize the brain? What types of foods are best for the body? How does our higher level of thought and consciousness affect the healing process? So we put this into a very specific plan, and we call it the Better Brain Academy. A way that you can learn this and start to incorporate it into your health and the health of your entire family. That's how we change the community. So it's very easy. There's 4 steps to the Academy. First step is to take it for a test run. We give you the first 4 days, first 4 videos of the Academy to see how this can be used for you, if it's something that fits into your health regime, and how that can actually affect your overall health of your entire family. The first step is to sign in below, and we can go ahead and send you these videos. The first day, how are we activating the brain? How are we deactivating the brain? What are we doing that's actually keeping our body in its proper brainwave pattern for sleep, for creativity, for productivity at our office, for allowing the brain to actually do its housekeeping so that we're not stressed? Day 2 is all about your belief systems. What do you actually believe about your health, and what do you believe as far as your nervous system, how you can influence your body with the right brain activities and the right action steps? So we delve deep into your belief systems about your health and get you starting to think a little bit differently about the opportunities. Day 3 is all about reconnecting, all the connections of the brain, how different parts of the brain work, how we can actually refocus and rewire some of these areas so that we are reducing stress on the nervous system. If you're stressed, your immune system is suppressed. It actually suppresses your life expectancy. Day 4 is really about decisions. That's where you get to decide whether you want to be part of the Academy. We know that indecisiveness in the brain creates an electrical charge. It actually causes stress on the nervous system, so our brain just keeps playing with these ideas. We've got to see what serves us and what doesn't serve us and make decisions to move forward so that our health is much healthier. So on day 4, you get to decide whether you want to be part of the Academy. If you do, which we would love to have you join in, we spend the next 3 weeks in Immersion. This immersion is really learning how the brain works and all the aspects that you want to do to create a rhythm to a better brain. The first week, it's all about you. It's all about your nervous system, how it is wired, how you can actually break old habit patterns and create new ones that are reinforcing better health. Week 2, it's all about your relations, how you actually connect with other people and how that can actually increase or decrease stress, and how you can become more aware of your nervous system and how it is connected. Week 3 is all about discovering your brilliance. Everybody has a very specific purpose. We all have our own specific brilliance. And most of us don't know what that is. So we kind of meander through life, maybe not even using what our God-given gifts are. So week 3 is really about discovering your natural innate brilliance. After you've done the 3 weeks of immersion, you're a graduate. So then you go into the next 2 months where on a weekly basis you're reinforcing what we've learned. We go deeper into the process of learning how to make this part of a habit pattern for your overall better health and vitality. After that, you literally, with the Academy, over the next year, you have access to all of the weekly blogs, all of the weekly integration of the latest in research out there with nerve health, so that you can keep abreast to all the crazy stuff that goes. There's so much information. We want to synthesize it and make it easier for you. We'll have interviews with the top experts, and so as part of our community, you can actually have access to all of this for the next year. The Better Brain Academy is one of the most comprehensive ways to look at how you can very easily and very effectively, in a simple way, take better control of your health using this magical thing called our brain. Thank you for watching this video. Like I said, if you want to take the first 4-day test drive of the Academy, sign in down below and we'll send you those videos. If not, make some comments down below as far as or questions, and we can go ahead and make sure we address any challenges or any questions that you might have. Go on our blog, look at some of the blog posts that we've had. You can go on our Better Brain Blueprint Facebook page and also like us, and you can keep abreast to what's taking place within our community. Thank you so much for being here, and let's work together to make a better, stronger, healthier community through a better brain.